Welcome back to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again today. Wow. 6 years on YouTube. What's changed? You know, there's a saying, the more things change, the more they remain the same. It's true about the Philippine genre that I'm in. You know, the core interest of my viewers, it doesn't change. You know, but before I start, I do want to say thank y'all so much for all your support, all your kindness, all your generosity over the years. I can't express this enough. These are your channels. If you don't watch them, if you don't support them, we don't exist. That keeps me humble. When I got on here 6 years ago, I had no idea. 6 years later, I'd be sitting here still doing YouTube. But I do want to shout out the people who came before me. Rike, Old Dog, Philippine P. Who else is one of the old ones? Mark Thornton. May he rest in peace. There's another gentleman who had a My Philippine Journey. His name was what's his name? He died of a heart attack. He used to live in Bacolod and Iloilo. And then, of course, the grandfather of them all was Mindanao Bob, which he didn't have a YouTube channel. He had a website when I first started out. You know, we got to give people their props, man. We have to give them their flowers while they live. They keep this type of genre going. And it allows the new guys who coming along and carrying the torch, you know, a leeway, some traction to get in here. So I did want to do that, but most of the things people still want to talk about today. Of course, the cost of living, dating, what else? Safety, lifestyle, you know, like the beaches, the resorts, the nightlife, and all that. That's basically it, and it's on a loop. And then, of course, you know, the drama stuff. Why expats leaving the Philippines? And, you know, they talk down on the Philippines. Why they don't like it here? And the 1,000 cuts. I heard a guy say that again this morning. 1,000 cuts. And it about drove me crazy. I mean, can't you guys get any more creative than you do? And that's it. And it's on a loop. Okay, so when guys say, oh, you're running out of content, look, you got to know your audience on YouTube. You can talk about all this grandiose stuff if you want to. Nobody's going to watch you. Cost of living, listen to me. Relationships, lifestyle, safety, drama. Okay, no, not necessarily in that order. But when I started 6 years ago, you could actually live in the Philippines reasonably well for $1,000 US dollars per month. Now, people are going to say, if you say, well, how much does it cost now, Cal? I'm going to say between $1,500 and $2,000. And people are going to say, well, I'm doing it for less and you're receiving less. I was on here 6 years ago, man. You got to account for cost of living increases, inflation, and all of that. But this is something that will always be of interest to viewers. They want to know, do I have enough to jump off the hamster wheel right now? How much do I need? You know, a guy sent me an email last night, another sad story where the guy ended up spending 4 million pesos. He bought 4 million pesos over here. No recurring income. In his 40s. And he spent it all. He didn't say how many years. And he asked me, he said, what do I think? I said, look, have him reach out to his embassy. Get him repatriated. Most countries have a repatriation program. But, you know, you're really not going to know until you get over here, boots on the ground. But that $1,000, it's not going to work anymore, guys. You're going to get a very rudimentary lifestyle over here. It's a lot to do in the Philippines, a lot to see, a lot of people to meet, and $1,000, you can do it. Yeah, it's possible, but it's just something that people are still interested in. Of course, relationships. We could talk about this every day, twice on Sunday. People are never going to get Tired of it. The good of the relationships, the bad, everything in between. Because you're going to fit somewhere on that line. You know, they talk about me. I give you the 360. I just can't tell you the good stuff about it because it's good. You know, when you're somebody like me, I'm 63 years young. My woman's 44. I've had women younger. Okay, and depending on who you are, they'll bend over backwards for you, man. You know, we're not talking about the circumstances of why they'll do it. The point is they'll do it. And you over here living your best life. It's like, okay, I had everything over in America. I just was missing that one piece that would make it all complete. Well, you get that one piece over here. Actually, you get the 3-piece over here. But relationships is just something people want to hear about, the horror stories, no matter how bad they are. And no matter how much empathy and sympathy you have for these guys. And no matter how things change, remember, the more things change, the more they stay the same. You're going to continue to get them. I talked about this yesterday, but who doesn't want to hear about a breath of fresh air, a second chance at love and relationships? A lot of guys are lonely over there. You know, they're tired of beating off. Let's be honest, man. I got a real life channel. They're tired of imagining. They're tired of dealing with the choices they have over there. So they want to hear about, hey, this dating game over in the Philippines, how a 70-year-old man can, you know, legitimately be with a 25-year-old over here. It's crazy, man. But it's very, very popular. And of course, the safety. You know, I come from America, one of the most violent countries on the planet, period, end of story. You know, for us to be the greatest country in the world and richest country that's ever existed, man, something's going on there. It's been going on there for a long, long time to make us act as depraved as we do over there. Just saw where a lady killed her 3 kids and now they're on the news. They got a lot of women over there saying, oh, it's not her fault. Give that bitch the death penalty. When you start killing children for no reason at all, talking about what your husband put you through and, you know, postpartum and all that stuff. Yeah, I understand that, ladies and gentlemen. But that doesn't mean you go out and kill your 3 children. Give them a chance to live. Now they got people out there with signs. They're supporting this woman. It shows you the state of our country. But we're interested in the safety. Can I come over here? Are people going to rob me? That hasn't been my experience. Are they going to break in my house? It hasn't been my experience. Matter of fact, Filipinos leave you alone. Better than any other country I've been. I've been a lot of places. If you mind your own business over here, you don't have a problem. Now, when you start going into those places where the State Department tells you to stay out of, okay, now you're taking a risk. And I always say this. There's no solution for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Some of the victims of violent crime over here and robberies and stuff, foreigners I mean, have just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. And then a lot of people don't understand that who's really being targeted over here. All foreigners aren't the same. Remember I told you the Filipinos know rich people. They know who's rich. They know who's got the money. And a lot of the people, it's not you. So you don't have to worry about that. But that's a lot, you know, a lot of what we want to talk about. One thing I left out, you know, healthcare, guys, listen. I say this over and over and over. Don't put your healthcare in the hands of somebody else. It starts and ends with you. If you take better care of yourself, it's less chances you're going to have to go to the doctor. It's less chances that you're going to end up in the hospital. Okay, now remember, no matter how good you take care of yourself, you know, heredity and different things like that, you can't beat that. You can't outrun heredity. But just drinking more water, walking around the block, staying active, you know, reading, because it's mind, body, spirit. But people are interested in that. Not so much, but they ask those type of questions. And of course, the lifestyle over here, including the infrastructure. We don't ever talk about the financial infrastructure. which I'm putting a video together about that. Protecting your money. Most of us don't have that. That's why we're poor. That's why we're still middle class. That's why we're worrying about the cost of living. There's some people who come over here, they don't worry about the cost of living because they've taken care. There's a dog coming in here. Taking care of their financial infrastructure, but they want to know, what am I going to do over there? What's it to do over there, Cal? Is it boring over there? It's really not. What I've noticed is the young guys who try to come over here and live, they're not ready. They haven't had enough of the West yet. So they come over here and they complain about everything. There's a video out right now of a guy, he's in America now. He was in Lady. He did everything wrong. You know, he's 30-something years old. You know, he moved straight to that small place like that. Remember we had the live stream just the other day talking about the best places to live. Look, I don't care how old you are. If you're coming from the West, man, you need to get in one of these, what I call expat alley cities. That has the immigration, the airport, the hospitals, the malls, other expats. Okay, the airport. You have to do that, guys. Otherwise, man, you're not going to make it over here. But there's plenty to do. And the more money you have, the more infrastructure you have. There's more to do. What bothers me a lot is people get over here and talk, well, oh, it's boring, oh, this is a shithole and all that. Fool, you don't have enough money to really enjoy the Philippines the way it can be enjoyed. There's a Philippines that we don't see. We don't have the money to see it. We don't have the money to enjoy that. But there's plenty to do over here. Boracay, all the places. I've been over here on and off for 17 years. I love the beach. But hell, I've only been to 18 islands. And you got to think about this, ladies and gentlemen. 18 islands. There's over 7,000, but 2,000 are inhabited. I've got a long way to go, man, but I've only scratched the surface. But you got to get over here. You got to get boots on the ground. You got to start moving around, interacting with people. You know, pay attention to what the State Department has to say. Enroll in the STEP program. The Smart Travelers Enrollment Program. Hey, get over there, stop it. They're over there chasing. See, this is what I don't like about my dog. Although you gotta like them for this. That's what they're here for, but it bothers me, man, because if they bite somebody, that could be my ass. Okay, not only just I'm being sued, but I'm probably gonna be deported because they're gonna blame me. But thank y'all so much for stopping by, man. 6 years, man, where's the time gone? You know, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs. I've stayed strong, man. I've been here with y'all close by. Just, you know, people say, oh, how can you handle it, Cal? You know, all the haters, all the trolls. Look, that's only a small part of my experience for real. The overwhelming majority of my experience on YouTube has been positive. I mean, very positive, man. I met some of the greatest people that's ever lived. Okay, it's given me a lifestyle that I really wasn't expecting, guys. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I decided I wanted to live in the Philippines, when I was still working, I used to come over here. I came up with an idea. I said, look, how much money did I need to earn to be able to live and stay here? You know, plus the money that I had already. You know what it was? 1,000 pesos a day. I said, if I could just get a sorry store, some type of business where I could earn 1,000 pesos a day, I can live here. That's how much I love this place. I can't explain it. I'm not going to try to explain. I'm not going to try to justify. Well, why you live there? You're going to live in Cambodia, Vietnam, this and that. I can see those places. But there's something about the Philippines, man, that keeps me here and keeps other people here. So thank y'all again. Thank everybody that came before me. Everybody's coming after me. It's not easy, guys. We make it look easy. It's not easy. This is one of those things, if it was easy, everybody would do it. We've already had that discussion. Very few people earn enough money on YouTube to quit their jobs and, you know, just live off the income. I'm one of those fortunate people. I'm very fortunate. I know how fortunate I am. That's why I don't run around beating my chest. I don't run around bragging and boasting. Okay? So if you're in America, if you're in the Philippines, wherever you are, find it in your heart to help somebody. We had our 6th anniversary spin wheel last night. I gave away 12,000 pesos. 6 winners, and this is only for my Filipino subscribers. By the way, this is why Sunshine Show started. 6 winners of 1,000 pesos each, and 1 winner of 6,000 pesos. A lot of money over here, guys. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. Don't do anything stupid. Keep on asking the questions, because I'm here to answer them. Don't give up on your dreams. It's possible. But you got to do something about it. Stop procrastinating, man. Get your money together. You don't have to come over here and retire. It took me 9 years of going back and forth till I got it. But you, at the end of the day, it's going to be your decision how much I'm going to need to live here, who I'm going to live here with, my safety, my lifestyle. You can talk to us, listen to us till you're blue in the face. Ain't going to make a difference till you get off that couch, guys. Take care.
Boots on the ground, don't do nothing stupid. Give that man his flowers, a tribute through music. If I don't know nothing, I know one thing. When we help others,